Welcome to the Headspace and Tasting Podcast, where we talk manhood, tell stories, and discuss the stuff that matters to us one sip at a time. Hello, Kevin.
What's up, Matt?
Nothing much, man. Another beautiful day, East Central Missouri. Glad to be here with you.
Mm-hmm.
This is episode 74? 76? Holy cow. I must have been sleeping through the last couple. 76. Okay. So last week we had the Kentucky Derby, Woodford Reserve, Select, the Kentucky Derby Select, and now we have something wildly different, I would say. 40 proof, almost full 40 proof higher, 20% more alcohol, ABV. This is Booker's first quarter release, the first release of 2026. We did we do 3 Bookers last year? Or
We did.
All 4?
No, we did 3.
3, okay.
We did 1, 3, and 4. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4. Right.
We didn't do quarter 1.
And I was very lucky enough to find number 1. And I have the collection from all last year, all 4 of them. And then this is the first release of 2026. It is called Big Easy Batch, based off of, I guess, Booker's love of New Orleans. It is 129.1 proof, aged 7 years, 2 months, and 15 days. And what do you think, Kevin? This is like a controversial one, because Booker's is usually, higher proof, usually up there 120s, right? I think this is the highest of the Bookers we've tasted so far.
It is. The highest one we've for today was 127, so This is the highest at 129.
And this is pulled from barrels from the 3rd floor up to the 6th floor in house GHOJM. So 5 different brick houses that this was pulled from, aged in new oak barrels, Missouri white oak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is, what color would you call that in the bottle there?
I put it almost up to the amber, like dark gold.
Yeah, I went amber, almost caramel, but it's definitely amber. Definitely a red hue to it.
Mm-hmm.
The mash bill is 10% barley, 77% corn, and 13% rye. What is normal Jim Beam? Do we know that?
No.
Because I guess I would imagine it's probably the same, right? They just age it differently.
I would think so, only because this is 7 years old. I don't think normal Jim Beam goes that long.
Probably 4 years. This bottle I was able to get at... Dang, sorry about that. My headphones are messing up. I was able to get this for $90 at Costco, and at a regular liquor store, it's going to go for at least $100. I don't know if there is a secondary market for this bottle or not, but usually the Bookers on secondary are much higher.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a limited release, and it's a cool bottle, cool marketing. It's got the wax on the top, a ribbon with the B, and I like them. Booker's is definitely one of my top bourbons. What did you get, Kevin? How was your tasting? What do you think?
Well, right off the initial inhale was the French toast and vanilla. And I couldn't taste, it wasn't sugar.
You talking like toasted French oak or toasted French bread?
French toast.
French toast. Okay, yeah.
The breakfast.
Yeah, the cinnamon, eggs, milk combo.
Yeah, but not the cinnamon. So it's no syrup, no maple type. It's just the French toast.
Okay.
Before I decide to decorate it with whatever I want to stick on it.
You don't mix cinnamon in with your French toast batter?
I do. That and vanilla.
Yeah.
Put those in there.
Okay.
But some people like it with powdered sugar, and some people like it with syrup.
Mm.
Some people just want it with both.
Yeah, butter and powdered sugar combo is awesome.
Yeah, so think French toast with powdered sugar and a little bit of butter.
Okay.
That's kind of what I was getting on the nose, and certainly vanilla. The palate was a little different. It was dates or plums and baking spice.
Okay.
And suddenly, toward the finish, but not right. It was more towards the finish, but still part of the initial taste when I was letting it settle in the mouth a little bit. The tannins out of the oak became prominent, and the longer it was in my mouth, the more they took over.
Mm.
So I was losing the flavor. And then that's how it was with the finish. The finish, I did have the fact that the rye spice kind of lingered,
Mm-hmm.
but then the oak tannins took over. And as far as the heat was on the tip of the tongue and the back of the tongue. There was nothing in between.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how my feeling was with what I was tasting.
Yeah, I got strong vanilla, little like a French toast is a better, probably, but I was thinking like a cake batter, like a spicy cake batter. I don't know what it would be like.
Spice cake.
Yeah, but I could also smell the new oak. I got some oakiness, woodiness on the nose. Tasting it, very sweet to me, like sweet corn, vanilla, and not much else came out. But on the finish, it started out sweet, but then I wrote tannic. It would just dried my mouth out. Tannins came out with the oak flavor, and a little bit of the like Luden's cherry cough drops, kind of lingering. But I definitely, the tip of my tongue, the back of my tongue, is where the spice, the heat is kind of lingering. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting any burn down my throat or into my chest or anything like that, which I would expect from something this high of proof, but it's not there.
The longer I go, if I focus on it enough, it ends up becoming kind of sour.
It's kind of like what came to mind to me. Would you ever chewed an acorn that you find on the ground?
No, you always mention acorns. I've never touched an
You should do it. It's very tannic. Because I'm like, will deer eat these? It must be edible. And I'll pop one in my mouth and like, ugh, this is disgusting. It's very acidic, tannic. Yes. Like it dries your mouth out really quick. And
yeah.
You want to spit it out. It tastes like something. I mean, I guess you could probably survive on it if you had to, but it's not pleasant. And I'm not saying that this bourbon isn't pleasant. You'll have to listen to the end of the show to get our full rating as we let the glass breathe for a bit. And we'll give you our rating out of 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So today is May 9th. Coming up on Mother's Day tomorrow. So happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yesterday was my mother's birthday. She's like me. Her birthday's right next. Her birthday's near to Mother's Day. Mine's next to Father's Day. So it's kind of like a combo.
Nice.
Happy birthday. Happy whatever you are day.
Well, 2 days ago was my youngest daughter's 17th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Samantha.
Yeah. Her party's today.
Cool. Let's see. What else is going on? Anything in the news lately? I haven't been paying attention to news at all, really.
Well, let's see.
The war in Iran was over like a week ago, apparently. But we're still attacking ships. Straight.
I don't know where the ships keep coming from.
Yeah, they just keep trying.
Every week I'm told that they're all dead and blown up, but there's always a whole new fleet of ships coming out.
They must be getting their intel from mainstream media. They're like, oh, the strait's open. Let's go, boys. And then they get rocket attack, missile attacks.
I guess. I don't know.
When is this?
This will get smart on the Middle Eastern countries to stop setting all their ports up inside the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
And extend their pipelines beyond.
Just, yeah.
Towards open water.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It would eliminate Iran as a strategic issue.
I don't know, man. Iran has always been a strategic issue.
Yeah, but it would be outside their borders if they would just extend their pipelines beyond the Strait of Hormuz. Then Iran's got nothing.
They would build a canal through Yemen. But then you got the Houthis that would be attacking it all the time, backed by Iran. This whole thing is just, to me, it's like beyond ridiculous, man. Like, what are we doing?
Oh.
What are we doing? Why are we still doing this?
The better stuff is the Trump administration started releasing all the UFO
Oh, yeah.
documents.
So I looked through some of those files,
Yeah.
and you have unresolved and resolved footage. So they'll show a footage, and you see this. It's a infrared picture, right? Video, and you see this thing floating across the screen at a pretty high clip, pretty fast, and they'll say this is resolved. It's a balloon. I'm like, wait a second. How are you picking up a balloon on infrared? Is it giving off heat, or is it the reflection of the sun? Like, explain this to me. What's going on here? The real creepy ones are those things that look like a jellyfish that are floating through like Iraq. Like, what in the world is that? What is that thing?
My favorites were all the ones that were taken with the Apollo astronauts on the moon. Those were my favorites.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, I do remember asking you that question when you came to me and said, "Kevin, did you see all the pictures from the Apollo moon landings?" I went, "Oh yeah, those things were great. Do you think they're real?" And then you suddenly got the blink in your eyes.
Of course not.
And you went, "No, they can't be real because the moon landings weren't real." I was thinking in my head, "Gotcha."
Yeah, no, man. You got to wake up earlier in the morning to get me. But yeah, the transcripts from that were very interesting. That the guys were just. I mean, I guess if you're an astronaut, you've gone through certain psychological evaluations that you can handle stressful situation and things that are out of the ordinary. So there's like, hey, Houston, we are seeing some objects out of our window, and they're oddly shaped and tumbling and in formation, and it's like they're just total. It's like ho hum. This is just what we're noticing. No big deal. But I would imagine, that's Apollo 13 and 17, I think it was. So prior folks that have been up into space, near Earth space and all that, have probably seen things, and they passed them along. Like, hey, when you get up there, you're probably going to see some weird stuff. Just be prepared for this. And there's going to be more batches that are coming out.
I think without the atmosphere, you don't get so much on the light refraction. So you're gonna see things that you're not going to see here ever.
And I don't know, never been to space, but I would imagine things will stay on their trajectory until they're acted on by gravity or another object. So if things start out in a certain quote unquote formation, they're probably going to stay there until
supposedly that large mothership thing that was headed towards Earth all of 2025, it just disappeared.
Yeah.
It just fell off the news cycle.
Yeah, well, it's probably really close, and they were like, man, we should probably stop talking about this.
Other news item would be Ted Turner passed away this week. I think he was 87.
Should have taken Jane Fonda with him.
Ted Turner, he was the founder of Headline News, CNN.
CNN, yeah.
He's the one who fathered 24-hour news cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And
there was a few other things. Isn't TNT one of his? TBS,
TNT were his. And at one point, he was the largest landowner in the United States, and then that was taken over by Bill Gates. He owned so much land. Where he owned a lot of land, he owned so many bison. His herds were so huge.
About preservation. He owned for preservation.
But he had so many that he couldn't just let them go.
Yeah.
Because there was no more room for them. And then he started opening up his Ted Turner steakhouses. Oh, yeah. And he was serving bison meat.
Steaks. Nice.
I don't know if any of them are still open, but I do remember when they were around in some of the larger cities. And bison meat kind of became a thing, and then it fell off. I've had bison ribs, and they were fantastic.
I like bison meat, like ground bison. It's super lean, super healthy, nutrient dense, very good.
But you're going to pay 1 pound
crazy expensive.
Ground, for $20.
We bought at Fresh Time. They had ground elk. I told Caitlin, like, "Oh, grab some of that," and she got 2 pounds of it, and it cost as much, I think, as like 6 pounds of beef. And beef prices are insane right now. We just got some ribeye steaks. I think we paid $26 for 2 steaks, something like that. It's like $13 to $16 a pound. It's insane, man. So that's what Ted Turner owned that land for preservation. Then he harvested the bison, did a business with them. Bill Gates buys farmland and doesn't farm. Like, he's just buying out farms and not producing food.
Right. He's the Antichrist.
He's one of them, at least. There are probably multiple.
And then Mark Hamill,
Who?
Luke Skywalker,
Oh.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
He went crazy on President Trump earlier this week.
Okay.
Based on some picture or something. I didn't follow any of it. But then later, yesterday actually, I saw and then he changed the picture, like toned down.
What was the picture of, like, Trump as Hitler or something?
I don't
Stupid.
know. I don't really remember. But the only thing I do remember was the response from Babylon Bee, because they put out a picture of Mark Hamill screaming and anxiety and crying, and President Trump standing next to him, pointing at him, going, "Mark, I'm your father."
I'm your daddy.
I thought that was pretty good.
Babylon Bee's been great lately. All of this because the boomers won't go away.
You are not kidding.
They're still sending us into wars, sending our children into wars while their children go to school or don't serve. And
They're all running the country.
Oh, Iran's been our enemy for 40 years. We need to take care of them. Meanwhile, they're sitting in a mansion in Connecticut, and their kids are going to Yale, and our children are enlisting. And
You got the crazy Georgia boomer mayor. I forget what city. But his wife, I guess, did something, and the police department responded.
let me guess, he said, "Do you know who I am?"
Well, he fired the entire police department. Well, they all got their jobs reinstated yesterday. Classic boomer.
Yeah, just go away and play pickleball. Just go away. Stop messing with us. But then it's like guys my age, Gen Xers, younger Gen X, we don't want to be involved in it at all. We're just like, let's just not have a county council. How about that? Because it'd be better than whatever the hell they're doing. Oh, man. So what went wrong, man? What do you think went wrong?
I don't know, but I can tell you earlier this week, I'm always skipping around on television. I don't really watch much TV, but I do like the occasional rockumentary or documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And I come across this one called Monterey Pop. I've always heard of Monterey Pop, but I've never paid attention to it.
Is that a band or what is that?
No, it was a Monterey Pop Festival.
Okay.
Music
Monterey,
festival.
California?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful spot. Too bad it's full of commies and boomers.
So that festival took place in June of 1967. It was 3 days long.
Okay.
Went from Friday through Sunday. And it is traditionally known as the music festival that ushered in the Summer of Love.
Yeah.
And the one song, if you're going to San Francisco with flowers in your hair.
That's Crosby, Stills and Nash.
No, I don't think so.
Who sings that?
No, it's not. It's not them. You have your laptop in front of you.
I know.
Anyway, that song was actually come out prior to the music festival, more or less as a promotional item. But anyway, so I'm watching this rockumentary. There's no narration. All it is
Just footage?
Yes, it's an hour and a half of the different bands playing, not all the bands they showed in the...
John Phillips
Okay.
of the Mamas and the Papas.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so the Mamas and the Papas were one of the bands that played at the festival.
Okay.
Otis Redding,
Oh, cool.
Jimi Hendrix, Simon and Garfunkel,
Jimi
The
Hendrix,
Who.
the Army veteran, 101st Airborne Division.
Yeah, technically.
Well, I think he got hurt on a jump.
I don't know if he...
Or did he go AWOL?
No, he didn't never went AWOL, but it's not as much as everybody was hyped it up to be.
He was there, though, man.
Yeah, he was. Matter of fact...
But that's a very eclectic group of musicians. That's,
they
Otis
were all
Redding, to the Mamas and Papas, to Jimi Hendrix.
The Who,
The Who,
Simon and
just straight
Garfunkel,
rock
The
and
Grateful
roll.
Dead. Jefferson Starship, and everyone was given 40 minutes to play.
Okay.
And it went nonstop, Friday through Sunday. And it was a fun rockumentary to watch because there was no narration. It was just the bands playing.
Any
Janis
riot?
Joplin.
Like, did anybody get stabbed or
No.
did they tear the place up?
No.
Okay.
Janis Joplin was there, and she was fantastic.
Oh, she was awesome.
Which was interesting because one of the notes I read about her performing, she performed on Saturday afternoon. So more or less a day or so into the festival. And her performance was the first time that the audience stood up cheering
Wow.
so far.
She was powerful, man.
And her voice was amazing in this
Powerful.
screenshot she did. But anyway, so you have this festival going on. They're showing all these bands, and occasionally the camera would shift to different periods, different perspectives, and you see all the people that were attending. The numbers were ranged anywhere from 25 to 90,000. A lot of people hung out outside the venue because they all couldn't fit inside.
Oh, they didn't jump the fences and
No.
wow.
And so you have all these people. They're all dressed different. No two people were dressed alike. So it was for me, it was a great observation how people expressed their individualism.
Yeah, this is officially considered the Summer of Love, right? Is that what they called it?
That's what
67?
started it.
The Summer
Yes.
of Love. Yeah. Yeah, so everybody was individuals. Everybody was just being themselves.
Yeah.
Any nudity? Like, were people walking
None.
around naked like at
None.
Woodstock and all
No.
that? Okay.
None of that was yet. And then, even all the men were wearing hats. No two hats were the same. They all were wearing different kinds of cowboy hats, floppy hats,
Any fedoras, like
berets.
Don Draper style guys
Yes.
there?
You
Yeah.
had a couple of them.
Mm.
There was a guy
Suits.
wearing a top hat. You had guys in suits. You had guys in shorts.
Interesting.
Women, same way. But it was all different ages. Everyone there. No one complaining. Everyone had a smile on their face. Walking around, enjoying the music, sitting next to each other.
Mm.
Even the Hells Angels were there. And they're in the audience just having a good time like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I saw them. These things are all going on, and besides the music, wide range of music. So you may be there for a certain band, but then you're going to have to listen to another band to hear the other band,
Yeah.
and everyone was still enjoying it.
So
I really liked that rockumentary, but there was some things that came out of it that I learned watching it, and it made me kind of sad a little bit.
Well, let's back up. Let's rewind the timeline, because what led up to this 1967 Summer of Love?
Well, I don't know about the Summer of Love, but the festival, they just wanted to do the festival.
Right, but there was a whole movement behind it. As I looked into this, when you mentioned it this week, so I was like, what? You have this Monterey Festival, and then you have Woodstock.
Woodstock was 2 years later.
Yeah, so there's something happened, man, because Woodstock was started out great, but at the end, when you see the aftermath of Woodstock and how it's just acres and acres of just torn up ground, trash everywhere, clothes all over the place.
Oh, they had to
people
bring
left
in the
their tent.
National Guard.
So I was looking back, and I kept going back year by year to 1950. In 1950, you had this early Bohemian culture. The U.S. started supporting France and Vietnam with money to help, with their colonial stuff. But you also had LSD being distributed by the government, was allowing research into LSD. And the CIA started experimenting with drugs, with LSD specifically. Because they were thinking it might be an interrogation. Like they could give it to somebody to interrogate them. Okay, I get it. Then you have something in 1953 called MK Ultra, which we've talked before. That started. And then Eisenhower starts expanding anti-communist strategy in Southeast Asia. And this is like a slow creep. LSD research expands. CIA covert experimentation grows. Covert meaning illegal. The Geneva Conference split Vietnam into North and South. And this beatnik culture, this kind of underground culture. So these are children of World War II veterans or older, probably World War II veterans participating in that. 55, you start having safe houses doing covert testing, like Operation Midnight Climax, where they ran brothels, and were unwittingly, like they were dosing unwitting Johns with this LSD and then watching what happens to them. You had a communist insurgency in South Vietnam. Then you start having the beat poets are having more influence in the culture. So the kids are like starting this counterculture movement starts to grow in 1957. Let's see, 58 to 60, universities start studying psychedelics, LSD. The CIA started looking at LSD as a potential weapon. U.S. military advisors are sent to Vietnam in greater numbers. So this was when the acceleration started. And then you had this kind of proto-hippie communities form. 1960, Timothy Leary begins Harvard research with LSD. National Liberation Front is formed. Intellectual counterculture grows. 1961, MKUltra program still going on. John Kennedy increases U.S. advisors in Vietnam. I think we looked that up. It was like went from a handful to like
3,500.
3,500. That was the Marines that landed.
Yeah.
Then we start having activism on college campuses. 1964, LSD is entering wider underground culture. CIA starts keeping their LSD research more under wraps. Then you had the Gulf of Tonkin incident, 1964, which was a false flag event. Everybody knows it. Then you start having some anti-war demonstrations popping up. 1965, the first major U.S. combat troops were deployed to Vietnam, and the hippie identity emerges in San Francisco. 66, California bans LSD. U.S. troops and levels surge past 300,000. And 67, this is when the music festival hits.
You missed one.
What's that?
1966 was also the release from Timothy Leary of his ultra counterculture mantra.
Yeah.
Turn on, tune in, drop out.
Drop out, yeah.
So that's a year before the festival.
When was Kennedy assassinated?
63.
63. Okay. So that was a major turning point as well, where people were like, in flux, I guess you could say. So 67, you had started massive anti-war marches in Washington, D.C. The hippie movement reaches mainstream peak, and then the psychedelic music explodes. But this festival you watched, it wasn't necessarily psychedelic music. It was probably more folk music, jazz, which jazz has always been counterculture. Folk is counterculture. Jimi Hendrix is psychedelic a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say Jefferson Starship. I mean, one of the things that came out of the festival was them doing their liquid,
Oh, yeah.
lava lamp kind of stuff on the big screen. That was kind of a new thing. Jefferson Starship did that, and then Grateful Dead did something similar.
Yeah. So this is like LSD is pretty prevalent. Marijuana, prevalent.
But you didn't see anything like that. You didn't see anybody that looked like they were drugged out or high at this festival in the rockumentary. Unlike Woodstock, you saw it blatant.
Yeah.
You did not see that in this rockumentary.
Okay. 67 is also when the Beatles started turning more psychedelic imagery and music. I'm guessing that's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band time frame.
Yellow Submarine.
And then that's also the year, 67 was the year that Vietnam casualties started being televised, where they started talking about Americans being killed over there. And when was the Kent State incident? What year was that?
Don't know.
Let me look that up real quick. So 67, we were deep in Vietnam. We were fully involved, right?
Oh, yeah, 67, I think. 67, 68 were the height. That's when it was the heaviest.
Kent State Massacre was 1970, so we're not quite there yet. But this is where, like, the first time in our history where you could turn on CBS News and see dead American soldiers from war. And it wasn't even a declared war. It was just I don't know what it was.
It was a police action.
Nation building, police action, right? Korea was a policing action. We haven't had a declared war since World War II.
Right.
And that's just a way of getting around the War Powers Act, which we're kind of dealing with now with Trump and Iran. That's why the war ended. So the War Powers Act didn't get put in place. And then it'll kick back up again. Let's see. Federal government criminalizes LSD in 1968. So shortly after 67, this was Richard Nixon was president, I think, in 68. Is that right? Or is that LBJ?
I don't know. You're asking me a lot of things today.
Come on, Kevin.
I want to say it's LBJ still.
Let's see. Who was president when LSD was criminalized? 1970, Congress passed the Controlled Substances Act. But who was president? Because they would have to sign it into law, right? Doesn't say. They're keeping it a secret from us. The man. Keeping it a secret. It was either LBJ or Richard Nixon. And that officially allowed the police to start cracking down on these counterculture movements. And, you know, when you were telling me about this festival and everything went off great without a hitch, you know, it's just some folks having a great time listening to some good music and historical music, honestly. Like, these are legends of the music industry now. And then you go to 69, where it's kind of started that way, but then more people kept showing up and started showing up and started showing up. Next thing you know, the fence got pushed down, and they announced this is now a free concert. This is now free, and anybody can come. And
you're talking about Woodstock.
Woodstock, yeah, which was 69.
Yes.
Right. It didn't end well, man. It went bad really fast. And it was that Woodstock experience was kind of like a little mini hippie movement, all right there in those few days.
I think it was the peak of it. That was it. You know, they jumped the shark at that point.
Yeah. Nixon started the Vietnamization program in 69. MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy were killed in 68. Then the Kent State shootings. And then the hippie movement starts to fall apart from there.
And that was the birth of the Jesus movement.
Yeah. The hippies kind of split between environmentalism, New Age movements, and Christianity. I think, didn't one of the Beatles go be like a Hare Krishna or something weird like that?
Well, they all went over and spent time with one of those guys, the Dalai Lama or whoever he was, for a little while over a summer. And then the only person that really stayed attached to it for a while was George Harrison.
George Harrison, that's right. So this 67 rockumentary where you had people of all types coming together just to listen to some cool music. What do you think triggered that in 67? That would take somebody from an ad agency or some kind of sales job in an office to go hang out with a poet or an artist at this music festival.
Well, I think they were going there for the music.
You think it was just the music?
Yeah. They weren't there to do anything else. I mean, some of the things you saw in the documentary, you might have used, there were some people that were painting art and doing low-level protest through art.
But if it was 10 years earlier, 1957, that would have been pretty weird.
Yeah, well, the
see.
music was different in 57 and 67.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, the music was completely different. This festival, relatively unknowns or up-and-comers were Jimi Hendrix and The Who.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Jimi Hendrix, the only reason why he made the festival is because Paul McCartney said, make sure he's part of the festival because you will not have a festival unless you get Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, okay.
So he showed up. It's also the people witnessing The Who and Jimi Hendrix smashing their equipment at the end of
The
their
Who was pretty
singing.
famous for that, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that was relatively new, and then The Who ended up doing it while they're there, and they're singing, talking about my generation.
Yeah.
While they're doing it, going crazy. But I mean, the music performances were good. People were enjoying it, and why not? And it was decent venue where they were set up.
Probably picked up as the days, day one to
Saturday
day two.
was the highlight. Saturday and the Saturday evening, those were the big concerts. And then nobody got paid. It was all for charity.
Mm.
They did get paid for transport there, flying in, stuff like that, or they paid for the transportation, but that was it.
But the money actually went to charity?
It was a charitable thing.
Not like for the fire victims in California where there's, these millions and millions made and then like, oh, well, we had to cover accommodations and transportation and food and the venue and everybody got paid except the people who actually needed it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like the $900 million or whatever that the city of St. Louis has with from the St. Louis Rams, and they still can't figure out what to do with that money 10 years later.
Politicians, man.
All you gotta do is drive 10 minutes to the city of St. Louis and go, I know what to do with that $900 million.
Dude, go down Page from 270 to downtown.
Yes.
And it looks like Kosovo, Bosnia back in the day, or Ukraine. It looks like it's bombed out, literally. Like there's just piles of bricks and burnt buildings. It's insane.
But that, I enjoyed the rockumentary. I learned something. Mm-hmm. But what really, as I started to observe this, and what tweaked my interest the most and kind of made me sad, is we can't do anything like this today. You can't have multiple bands show up and then people expressing themselves and start. There are so many things. I'll start with the first thing. The first thing I mentioned was everyone expressing their individualism by the way they dressed.
Yeah.
You don't even see that today. Everyone dresses the same. Everyone wants to be like the person next to them because you got all these weird social media influencers. And if they have their nose pierced, I want my nose pierced too. If they're wearing a hoodie up over their head, I want one up over my head too. If my pants are down around my ass, I want to wear my pants down around my ass too. And this is all we see today. We don't see people that are dressed for themselves on how they just want to express themselves, and I just feel good about it. You don't see a lot of that. And you see it across the full spectrum of our market in our society. All the cars look alike. All the SUVs look alike. The minivans look alike.
I saw the weirdest thing yesterday when I was on my way home from work. 6 cars bunched up at a red light. 600, it was like 4 on one side, 2 on the other, the exact same color of burgundy. And I was like, this is like a glitch in the matrix here. There's something like, what in the world?
And it doesn't matter the manufacturer. It can be...
Well, the colors of all the cars are getting more dull. Did you notice that too?
Yes. Yeah.
There's no bright colors out there. And when you do see a bright color car, you're like, look at that freaking ugly car. What the...
Or you think it's great looking.
Yeah. It
I
depends
saw
on...
2 cars this is one of the weird things. 2 cars, 2 different locations here in the St. Louis area within 2 days of each other. And each one had a license plate that was spelled differently, but both of them said blueberry. And the cars were blue, like a blueberry.
Okay.
And I thought that was really cool.
Well, here's something too. Is like when Dodge just said, F it, we're going to build hot rods again. And they just started building insanely fast cars that looked really mean, like the old hot rods of the day. They were wildly popular. They were selling out. The prices go through the roof. Everybody wanted a Hellcat. Everybody wanted all. Then what did they do? They're like, oh yeah, we're going to abandon this. We're going all electric. Just all of a sudden, we're going electric. And everybody's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
What?
but then everybody decided to build something that looked like, a Dodge Charger.
They all look the same. Yeah.
It
They're
doesn't matter.
copying. There's
It
no
can be Toyota,
no originalism. No-
Mercedes, Honda, Ford.
like,
Everything's the same.
so back in this time, 1967, you had artists working for the auto manufacturers that were designing some of the most iconic, badass cars that we have ever had in the history of vehicles. 1967, you had the Firebird, the Camaro, the Mustang. You had Mopars coming out.
The Cobra, the Falcon,
dude, all the Dodges, the Cornettes, the
GTOs.
Challengers, GTO, like beautiful, beautiful. Even the Impala. Let's say that the 1967 Chevy Impala, which was like a sedan, like a grocery, it still looked really cool. Cadillac was coming out with these Lincolns, beautiful, beautiful machines, and then it just gets homogenized, and it's just all the same. It's plastic and fake wood grain, and just 4 cylinders with turbochargers on them because it's more fuel efficient. And like, dude, you can obviously see when Dodge came out with the Hemi, they came back out with the Hemi V8, and they were unapologetic about it. People were starving for that. Like, I don't care how much I have to put gas in this thing, how much it costs.
Yeah, that was one of those great commercials where you had George Washington driving and he's got the flag.
Holding the flag and just, yeah. Yeah. And it was like, that's what and then Ford followed up with the Mustang. Chevy came back with the Corvette, the badass Corvettes. And, like, this is what we want. This is America. Like, we want individuals. People crave it, but people are afraid to be themselves nowadays. They're just, because of social media, I think. And my generation is to blame for that, because we handed our kids iPads to keep them quiet instead of handing them a book and, or reading to them. Like, you see kids nowadays, they're in their minivans, they have TVs, and they're constantly watching whatever, Nickelodeon or YouTube. And it's insane, man. I don't know. Like with my kids now, with Emma, she's 2.5 years old. She can count up to 5. She knows all her colors. She knows all her animals. She runs. She can almost do a pull-up on her own. She can do that thing where she hangs from a bar and she can kick her feet up and put her feet on the bar and swing like a monkey with her feet and hands on the bar. 2 years old. Because we don't do plop her down in front of a TV to watch Nickelodeon for 10 hours. We go to gymnastics. We take her to the park. We read books to her. We practice her colors. We practice her numbers and all that stuff. And it's like you have to be really involved in that stuff. It takes time. I wonder if these kids, and these were probably like, what were the age ranges of this rockumentary, do you think? Did you see, was it mostly
teenagers to
it's hard to tell people.
early retirees?
Really?
Yes.
Which would have been, retirees back
50s.
then would have been in their 50s, like 45 to 50, right?
50s.
Yeah.
I did see a couple scenes where there were some younger kids, maybe 12, 13, 14.
Maybe
Not
that's
many.
another thing too, where we're like working ourselves to death, man. We don't have time to go to music festivals. We don't have the energy, because we're working until we know we're going to be working our jobs until we're 70. And who started that crap?
Boomers.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is the thing, and this is what made me sad, because I'm watching this and I'm seeing how people are getting along. Didn't matter. I don't know what everybody believed.
Right.
And apparently nobody there cared.
Yeah, you just keep it to yourself, man.
Right. But then I realized that this was 1967. And they were mostly teenagers, early 20s, most people.
Yeah.
Even though I saw all age ranges there. Well, who are those people in 1967? They're the boomers of today.
Yeah.
And I drew an immediate conclusion that the boomers of today completely lost sight of who they were when they were younger.
I think so. Yeah.
And
It's almost like they sold their soul
they sure did.
to capitalism.
And we're stuck with them. They won't get out of the workplace. I complained about this for 15 years now.
It's not only they won't get out of the workplace, they hoard the knowledge, they hoard the wisdom. Like they're not passing on. They feel like threatened if somebody's learning what they know.
Well, I'm not even worried about that because technology's changing beyond what a boomer can comprehend.
For sure. Yeah.
But the fact that they just stay in their same job and they won't retire.
Mm-hmm.
And so our generation, the millennials, have never been able to move up in a company because they will not get out of the way.
Yeah.
And why won't they get out of the way? Because they ruined themselves financially.
Yeah.
And they have to keep working. That's why they're all coming back into the workplace
Either
now.
that or it's just pure greed.
A little bit of both, maybe.
They
don't know.
want to die with the most toys.
And, you know, they protested rightly, in my opinion, when it came to Vietnam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Making sure, you know,
Civil rights.
had a really good movement going.
Yeah.
And then it all crumbled. And then you mentioned Woodstock. Woodstock, I think, was jump the shark moment for the whole hippie movement. And everyone realized at the end of the storm,
Yeah.
you know what? I need to get a job.
Yeah. I'm hungry.
I got to start paying my boy.
I gotta get some food. How
And
am
then
I
it
gonna
just
pay
kind
for
of
this?
died off. And everybody went to work. And it's kind of mirrored a little bit in the movie Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah.
You see that
Yeah, for sure.
progression? That's real.
With Jenny, especially.
Yeah.
She's the one you see it.
Yes. And then they all kind of come back together toward the end. But we're stuck with it. And they're all running the country today. They're running into the ground.
Yeah. Our debt just passed our GDP. Like we're officially insolvent as a country.
It's over 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain what jump the shark means to our younger generations who don't know what that means?
Well, first off, you got to go watch the old TV series Happy Days. There's a scene
Or
where
you can go on YouTube and just look.
yeah, there's a scene where the Fonz,
Yeah.
Mr. Cool Guy, is going to water ski and he's going to jump over a shark tank. And he does it, and it's like this big deal. And
Isn't
it's
it
not
like
a big
one
deal.
ski or something?
Yeah,
Like he
it's
lost
lame.
a ski and
It's so lame.
did he have his leather jacket on while
He
he was
did.
skiing? Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And that was the end of Happy Days, and it was everything went downhill from there. So anytime you hear somebody say jump the shark, it's because they rode the wave, it was all good, and they just got crazy and did something stupid, and
Yeah, the show. So what
it
happened
got
was
so ridiculous.
the show fell off after that episode.
sure did.
Everybody's like, "This is stupid. We can't watch this anymore." And the Fonz had like gray hair at the time, and everybody was getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you mean by jump the shark. Another good movie that kind of parallels this, going along with Forrest Gump, is American Graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my all-time favorite movies because it shows like the innocence of kids in a small town, hot rodding, going to the drive-in, going to the what do they call those diners? The drive-in diners.
The diner.
Is that what it? Yeah. So you hit the button, the girl comes out on skates, you get a milkshake and fries, you got your girlfriend next to you. Back when they had bench seats in the front seat, like real men, you could have your girl next to you.
They had the window tray.
Yeah.
But our cars aren't strong enough to hold a window tray anymore.
Or you would whine and cry, "Oh, you scratched my car." Right. But they go from they're graduating high school and they're trying to figure out like, what are we gonna do? I'm leaving to go to college. I got my girlfriend that I love. When you're in high school, you love, okay. But one guy goes off to Vietnam, one guy dies in a car crash, and it's like the end of innocence type of thing. And it's a great movie. Ron Howard's in it. I love that movie, really, really do. And it just kind of shows like this innocence, and then it's like real life. That's a great movie. Forrest Gump's probably better for what we're talking about now because it shows like the arc of the timeline that we're talking in, and it shows the downfall and how everything crumbles, and then Jenny has AIDS and she has sex with Forrest without telling him, And she's the worst person ever in the history of movies. And then she dies, and he raises his son like a real man.
Yep. Anyway, so Monterey Pop,
Yeah.
throughout all this stuff that we're talking about today, just for me watching an hour and 20-minute documentary, rockumentary, and there was no narration. It was my own interpretation of what I was seeing.
That's really good. That's a cool way
Moving
to do
into
it.
today.
Yeah.
And kind of unfortunate. However, at the same time, because you mentioned a little bit, our generation, we're the Gen Xers. Now, we joke back and forth all the time,
Yeah.
and I am really the classic Gen Xer, born in 1970. You're kind of on the tail end of the...
Yeah, I'm a Zennial.
Yeah,
What's called a
you're
Zennial.
right on the tail end of it. So you don't grasp all of it. You have most of it, but you have like that 8% stuff where you talk about we threw laptops in front of our kids or iPads. That wasn't a thing when I was raising my kids.
Well, it wasn't. Let me think.
That came a little bit later.
Yeah, later. Well, I was like,
But same generation, but it was kind of a crossover.
yeah, I think we got our first computer in school when I was in 6th or 7th grade. Maybe we got one Apple computer in my school.
Okay. See, we're still using the old Macintosh.
But I went to typing class. I learned how to type when I was in high school. We had to type on word processors.
So we use typewriters.
Yeah. So you're on the front end of millennials.
Yes.
You're like
Well, no, on the front end of Gen X.
Gen X. I mean, you're on you're like 1 year.
66.
66.
Yeah.
No.
Starts. Yeah, it is.
They're still boomers to me.
Yeah.
If your birth date starts
I'm
in a
telling
6,
you what it is.
1906 something, you're a boomer.
I'm telling you that's the generation.
Boomers probably came up with this timeline.
So you see these shorts all the time on social media. Maybe you don't because you're never on it anymore.
Yeah.
But they're hilarious because there's a certain group of people out there that do these Gen X things, and you got some younger person complaining about Gen X, and then the person who is a Gen X.
So they're trying to make the Gen Xers the new boomers or something?
Kinda.
Okay,
But it's
good luck with
hilarious
that,
because the
homie.
Gen Xers are all coming back going, let
Yeah.
me tell you something.
Good luck.
And then it goes on and on and on. Well, this week, watch Monterey Pop, thinking about what's going on, and here's an article that came out, and it was written by Sonia Ramirez. Came out on May 2nd.
And what is she writing this? What platform is she writing this on?
Well, it came out through, hang on.
It's like BuzzFeed or...
No. I pulled this off of, I think I pulled this out of the New York Times.
Oh, okay. Let me see her
No,
picture.
Wall Street
Is
Journal.
that her picture in the corner?
Yeah,
Oh, no blue hair.
I think so.
All right. She's got naturally colored hair.
Anyway, so I'm reading from the article. This is the first summary right at the top. Psychology asserts that children of the 1960s and 1970s did not become emotionally strong thanks to better parenting, but because they grew up with enough daily neglect to learn to self-regulate, solve problems on their own,
Yeah.
and develop a resilience that modern comforts make difficult to build.
Yes.
Now, that's Gen X.
Yeah. I mean, I was a latchkey kid.
I was too.
Yeah. I literally had a key around my neck that like I would let myself in the door. And then I had chores to do. I had to do my homework and do the dishes and dust and
Yeah.
do all this stuff. Nobody was home.
Right. But this really wraps up, and I'm mentioning it because everyone laughs about it. Goes, oh yeah, Gen X, you guys all talk about all this, blah blah blah.
No.
This is actually a study
Okay.
that came out. Researchers report that when parents are overly protective and controlling, their children tend to show slightly higher anxiety and depression as they get older. It does not prove cause and effect, but it does suggest that constant rescue can come with hidden cost. This is what we see today.
But this is Gen X as parents.
Or millennials as parents. See, this is the thing. My kids are grown.
Yeah.
I don't really have this issue so much, except for like the two youngest.
So I fight this urge all the time. This is, for me, this is like, I hear Emma in the other room playing and I'm like, what is she doing? What's she getting into? We need to go check on her. And my wife, Caitlin, she's like, she's fine. That she's playing with
Well,
her
see,
toys.
your wife is more Gen X than you.
I'm like, well, I've seen a lot of horrible things. So I'm like really paranoid about something bad happening, but there's also times where I see what Emma's doing and she's like climbing up into her own high chair, and I'm like, ooh, looks bad, but I'm like, I need to let her figure it out. I'm going to let her get hurt. Like potentially she could get hurt doing this, and she's going to learn a lesson. So I have like this competing brain in me, the millennial Gen X brain in me, the mix,
Right.
And I'm fighting it all the time. Like, let her figure it out. Let her climb this rock wall at the park. She's fully capable of doing it. You don't need to stand underneath her and push her up and hold her the whole time. Just be there. If she gets hurt, take care of her. She's not going to die. Relax, man.
What I found interesting about this article is not only does it describe the mind of a Gen Xer, which is highly accurate, but it also explains a little bit about what we're experiencing with the younger generations today.
Like Gen Z and Gen Alpha?
Yes.
Okay.
And like I said, this is a study. They call it a study of studies because they combined 52 separate research articles, put it all together, all the data.
Okay.
They do determine that there are small but consistent links between overparenting and depression, anxiety, and other internalizing symptoms. And when we're talking about an internalizing symptom, it's more of a broad term for inward struggles like persistent worry, sadness, and social withdrawal.
Oh.
We see this in younger generations all the time.
Yeah, because their mom's always hovering over them going, oh, whoa, 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 no, that's dangerous. Don't do that. Whoa. And they emote this fear.
Yes.
And the kids are like, I should be afraid of this forever.
And you hit it right on the head.
Oh.
It
I'm
is
a genius.
closer to
Just
hovering.
Say it,
hovering.
Kevin. I'm a genius.
Yeah, so's Wile E. Coyote. It is closer to hovering, where adults step in fast and often, even when the stakes are low.
Isn't that the helicopter parent? That's where this came out. Right?
Yeah,
that
this is
term.
also mentioned.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so when they say even when the stakes are low, some of the examples they used in here were you got to mediate every time your daughter and her friend aren't getting along.
Oh, dude, here's a for instance. My son, when he was younger, my son Drew, was struggling to put a worm on a hook. First of all, I had to tell him, like, I showed him, here's how a worm's on a hook. And he's like, oh no, the poor worm. And I was like, the worm has no nerve endings. And I had to explain all that to him. And this is what we need to catch fish. And we're going to eat these fish later. So we need to eat. And he's struggling putting the worm on the hook. And then I could see, oh, he's definitely going to get that hook in his finger the way he's doing this. And I wanted to step in and help him and do it for him. But this is where my competing brains, I was like, nope, he might figure it out. And if he does stick himself with a hook, he's going to learn a lesson that he'll remember for the rest of his life. And that's kind of cruel.
My dad don't like me.
About it. Yeah, dad hates me and he's going to want me to be hurt. No, but he, okay, of course, stuck the hook in his finger. And I come and I pull it out and he's bleeding. And he's looking at his bleeding finger and the hook and me. And I'm like, all right, this is a first aid lesson now. Oh, here's what you do when you get a hook in your finger. And wash your hands. Here's how you... And at first I was like, put your hands in the pond, wash the mud off,
right,
suck the blood. And then he puked. And then I was like, all right, let's get the first aid kit out. And but like my kids, my two boys, when they were home, when I was a single dad, Drew was doing a model on the table while I was at home using a razor blade, cut his finger pretty deeply. My older son didn't panic, applied direct pressure, took him to the bathroom, ran it under the water, kept the pressure on, cleaned it, put a bandage. By the time I came home, I see Drew with a bandage on his finger. And I'm like, what the heck happened here? Now, of course, they didn't clean the blood off the floor, but, we're men. We don't do that sort of stuff. But I was like, to me, I was like, this is victory. I did it. My young men, they're becoming independent, and they're not going to freak out and call 911 because you cut your finger, I was like, okay, cool. It sucks my son cut his finger, for sure. We ended up having to go to the hospital and get stitches, actually. But
Well, I saw differences in parenting when it came to my son. He was about 6 or 7 years old, and he comes home in the evening.
Mm.
About 45 minutes later, I get a knock at the door,
Mm.
and it's another boy and his dad,
Yeah.
Michael's friend. And his dad goes, "Hey, do you see my son here?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You see that cut underneath his eye? You know what they were doing?"
Did you have to squint to see it? Like, I
He
think
had
I see a little.
He had a decent scratch across the top of his cheek.
Okay.
He goes, "You know what they were doing?" "Nope, I have no idea." They were sword fighting with sticks. And your
Cool.
son struck my son right below the eye.
He should be a better sword
Okay.
fighter.
"I think your son should apologize to my son." And I literally said, "Why? What did he do wrong?" "You're both sword fighting. Your son lost.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want me to do? I'm not going to get involved." And then he was becoming adamant, standing on my porch and like not leaving. I said, "I tell you what," I said, "we can let the boys handle it themselves, or I can embarrass you in front of your son right now if you want me to do that. What do you want to do?" He turned around and walked away.
Yeah.
So that was different in parenting styles. So clearly at that point, when my son was that age, I could tell the back end of an X
Yeah.
and a true X.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of difference.
I had a similar situation with my children. They were out playing with neighborhood boys on a trampoline, right? And they're all goofing around, kind of roughhousing. But one kid just sucker punched my son, just punched him. And he came home, "Oh, so we were playing, and then so-and-so just came up and punched me in the face." I was like, "What did you do about it?" He's like, "Well, I just figured I'd come home." I was like, "No, let's go. Let's go talk to this kid." So we go down there, and I knocked on the door. I said, "Listen, our sons were all playing. I get kids roughhouse. They throw rocks. They'll get in sword fights with sticks, all that sort of stuff. But your son sucker punched my son. Where does he learn how to behave like that?" And I just stood there. Like, where does he learn this from? This behavior. It's unacceptable. So I'm going to teach my son, the next time he's sucker punched by a kid, I'm going to teach him a little thing about getting even. You know? And I was like, I really hope we don't have a problem in this neighborhood with our children, and us dads have to get involved with the problems of these kids. But that kind of behavior comes from a little shit being, he's taught those things. Now I understand kids are kids. They're going to do stupid stuff. But something like that, like sucker punching a kid when he's not looking, like, where is this kid getting this from? He was obviously raised by a helicopter parent. Like, he's a little brat. So I just went and made it known. Nobody's going to be sucker punching my son ever again. And if it does happen again, there's going to be a problem between you and I. And that was the end of it. My son was never bothered with a sucker punch again. Now, they did have run-ins. Obviously, they were kind of like neighborhood rival kids. Whatever, dude. Go figure it out. Run in the woods and fight each other. As long as it's kid fights, But that was like a little different. Like your son that's mutual combat.
Right.
Sword fighting, and somebody gets hit in the face. Okay. If my son came to me like, "Oh, we wanted to box and then he punched me in the face," I'd be like, "Well, yeah, that's what happens when you box."
And how do boys react when that happens? They don't say sorry out loud.
No.
But they do stop fighting.
Yeah.
We stop fighting. We walk up to each other and go,
"Oh, man,
yeah,
okay?
you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. You all right?"
You're fine. You're fine. Your
That's
eyeball
it.
could be hanging out, and they'll be like, "You're fine, dude."
That's how we apologize to each other.
Yeah.
Moms.
Right. But when one kid's like obviously being a bully,
Right.
I'm going to teach my kids how to handle bullies. I'm just letting you know, my son will know how to handle this next time. He will probably hit your kid over the head with a rock if you sucker punch him again.
So moving toward the back end of this article,
Yeah.
we see kids having temper tantrums. I see it in my own church where a kid just runs around and screams and runs up and down the aisle, and I'm like, "Hey,
Well,
parent,
Well, the crazy thing is
Grab them, get them out.
you have helicopter people who are raised by helicopter parents now having kids, and it's like, what would you call it? First person drone parenting now?
Or none.
Or no parenting, right?
No discipline. So anyway, why self-regulation is the skill underneath it all. And again, I'm quoting from Sonia Ramirez. When people talk about resilience, they're often talking about self-regulation. That is the ability to manage emotions and behavior without needing someone else to do it for you. It shows up in everyday moments like cooling down after a group chat blow up, or staying calm when your order arrives late and you're already stressed. You're not standing there and you're throwing all the cups and lids and ketchup packs at the people working behind the counter at McDonald's.
Oh.
Stuff like that. But anyway, so then it says, why is it that they drag in the Generation X to these types of discussions? It's because Generation X has learned this on their own to be that way.
Do you think also with that comes like, hey kid, figure it out type of attitude? Like, yeah, you'll figure it out like I did.
Yeah, so it kind of goes into the debate now is the role of free play, right? So kind of like what you said about your daughter, Emma, I'm just going to let her climb up on that high chair.
Yeah.
You know, those kinds of things where you're not going to jump in there because play has become so structured, or now it's risky. And you get to the point now where you're in the school system and it's all about risk management. Ugh. And so you're not allowed to do anything now because you're afraid that something bad's going to happen, or some intruder or something like that. Yeah, I agree. That's all real stuff. But we're living in fear.
Yeah, we just had a near mass shooting down in, what was it, Texas? I think a kid walked in with a rifle, and the principal, a man, tackled that kid. He got shot in the leg, but he tackled that kid and stopped this mass shooting. So good for you, dude.
Yeah. Look, we all want to say, you know, it's not like the old days. Every generation says that.
Sure. Yeah.
There is no way kids these days, we're going to, as parents, we would let them wander the neighborhood until the street light comes on, not knowing where they're at. Those days are gone.
Yeah, because there's too many freaking drugged up pedophiles who are on antidepressants. And
they're not even drugged.
Who cares? Well, I'm talking like pharmaceutical drugs.
They have no moral compass whatsoever.
That's very true. Yeah.
So, but there are ways to do it, and it's quoted here in the article that we should be giving kids chances to make their own choices, handle frustration, and solve their own small problems on their own. And there are ways that we can do that and allow those things to happen without being hovering.
Kevin, when you and I went through our military training, yours was officer training, mine was enlisted, but you went through some enlisted training.
I was enlisted.
You were enlisted.
I'm a Mustang.
You're given a set up, like, here's your mission, figure it out, go make it happen based off of the training you received, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have what's called observer controllers. But you don't see the observer controllers unless it's like you're dead, or at the end when they do the after action review, right? Mm-hmm. So you're given a lot of lateral movement, right? You're allowed to make your own decisions and accomplish the mission the way that you see fit, as long as it's within doctrine. Mm-hmm. Like, you're given the guidelines. Go make it happen. This is what has made the U.S. military so successful and throughout our history. But what if we taught our kids the same way? Like, are we giving them the foundational doctrine? Like, here's what's acceptable. Here's how you do this. Here's your left and right limits. Go do it. So, like, if I'm going to send my kids to the park, which is right across the road and a ways down a trail, I would say, here's your parameters. Don't talk to strangers. Don't get in any cars. Don't accept gifts from people you don't know. Don't leave the park. Come home when the streetlights come on, right? That's pretty scary, dude, to send your kids off nowadays. But shoot. When I was a kid, it was like, all right, Mom, my chores are done. I'm going outside. Come back when the streetlights come on. And I'd have a pair of swim trunks on. That's it. No socks, no shoes, no shirt. Just running wild like, what was that? what's that book with the kids that are on the island? They're stranded on the island. Can't think of it right now. Piggy, and they had the conch shell, and Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
That's basically what my childhood was like. Lord of the Flies, except it was in the suburbs. Dude, there's something in me. I'm like, dude, I cannot fathom. I tried when I was younger, like with my boys when they were growing up. It was like that. But we lived in a neighborhood that was 3 cul-de-sacs. That was the whole neighborhood. And now, like, am I going to send my daughter off to this park across the way where there's pickleball courts, basketball courts, a pool, and, hiking trails and a pond, and who knows who's there? I don't know who's over there. Could just snatch my kid at any moment. It's terrifying, man. And where's the balance point in that?
Well, I could say a whole lot more, but I think I'm running out of time.
Not really.
Really?
No, we're at an hour 10.
Okay. I thought you had a
you're
time
running out of
schedule.
time.
I thought you had a time schedule.
1 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, you were talking left and right. No, I'm good. You were talking left and right.
Yeah.
So taking this down a step further,
Yeah.
getting
with the
deeper into
study.
the conversation. This is another article that came out this week. It's actually a study. Politics is destroying American friendships, and it's getting worse. So, again, this morphed out of me watching Monterey Pop, and I'm seeing all these people, and I'm sure they all have different viewpoints, things like that, and they're all together listening to music, enjoying themselves. And nowadays, we can't be friends with each other if you believe in something completely different with me.
Yeah.
And this article, which is actually a study, it's research led by, I can't even pronounce the guy's name, but it's out of the University of California, Irvine. 2 of the summaries points. More than a third of Americans report having lost at least one relationship due to political differences, including friendships, family ties, co-worker relationships, and romantic partnerships, with most losing more than one.
Yeah.
And then people who experienced political breakups held more hostile and distorted views of the other side, rating opposing voters nearly 8 points colder on a 100-point scale and significantly overestimating how extreme opponents' beliefs actually are. All of this comes from social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is no other venue out there that has ever produced this. The news cycle has always been around. It's always been a 24-hour news cycle.
Well,
It's the
since
social media.
the Gulf, like before the Gulf War, right? Well, Vietnam, I guess. There was kind of 24-hour news about Vietnam, right?
See, I can't remember when headline news started. I know it was Ted
80s,
Turner.
Mid-80s, late 80s.
Could have been.
I just remember the Gulf War was
But it
like the
became
first
popular.
time. Like
Yes.
you're watching the war live 24 hours a day.
That's when it became very popular, and it was on every television, on every military base, and the
Yeah.
dining halls, and all that stuff. I remember when all that was kicking off, and that's all we watched.
Yeah.
We didn't watch television; we watched CNN
Yeah.
at that time, back when it was legit.
Well, yeah, all military bases and airports somehow had CNN like locked down. CNN locked that down.
Yeah, Ted Turner was a smart dude. Yeah. And there are no Ted Turners
Guess
anymore,
what?
unfortunately.
He didn't take it with him wherever he's at now.
No. So going on and on to this article, and I mentioned social media.
Yeah.
This is the disaster of social media that has happened. We watch one thing on social media. Most likely it's AI driven.
Yeah.
That says the United States commits genocide on a daily basis against some race, which is totally false.
Or you could go the other side, that America is altruistic and the greatest,
Yes.
thing ever and second coming.
It goes on. And 62% of people in a political breakup said they lost a friend. 40% say they lost a family member. 29% lost a coworker. 10% lost a romantic partner. Now, come on, people.
A romantic partner? I've lost one of my best friends in my like I grew like childhood friend. Dude, we traveled Route 66 and Route 1 up California. We did this massive like we were best friends. We loved WWF when we were kids. We had the WrestleMania birthday parties at my house, and like he was my best friend. And this was like Bush Gore was going on. And he's a union man. I was not, and I was a Bush guy, or actually I was a who was the
Perot?
Ross Perot guy. And it was like we couldn't see eye to eye. And when I look back on it, I'm like, how stupid is this that we threw away a lifelong friendship over some bull crap that we were watching on Fox News or CNN.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally bullshit. That's literally what it was. And a lifelong friendship was ended over it.
Growing up, we had dinner etiquette or meal etiquette or group etiquette.
Yeah.
And you had 3 rules. Number 1, do not talk religion. Number 2, do not talk politics. Number 3, do not talk about work.
Yeah.
You take out those 3, you talk about other things.
Well, what else do we have to talk about nowadays, Kevin? Those are the only things we have to talk about.
Because that's all they see. And they're not educated. No one's educated.
What's the last book you read? Like, if you sat in a group of
1066, The Year of Conquest. I'm reading it right now. I'm in chapter 1.
20 people, if you, like, say you get your group of friends together, and you say, hey, I'm reading this book right now. It's really interesting. What are you reading right now? And we'll be like,
I don't read.
FoxNews.com.
Yeah.
Or Facebook or Instagram.
Twice while I was waiting in the parking lot at Walgreens, waiting for my kids to come out buying their snacks for the movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you were.
Yeah, we are that people.
Me too.
I saw first a young man walk out. He's got a bag of whatever, dressed like a slob, and he's got his cell phone out.
Well, he's an individual, Kevin. He's dressing like an individual.
He never looked he never looked up.
Dude.
Head in his cell phone, walking out the store, walking straight into a parking lot.
Dude, I was coming home from work, and I was coming home from our second location, right? So I was coming the other direction home, and I go by a local high school, and I'm sitting at a stoplight, and I am not kidding. I saw 30 kids coming out of this high school, walking down the sidewalk, crossing the street, standing at crosswalks. Not a single one of them had their head up looking around at their situation, where they're at. Every single one had their head craned down at their phone.
Right, not even talking to each other.
Every single one. There was like a group of 4. They all had headphones in, looking down at their phone.
Well, then that's a great ending to this study about the political breakups. And I'm quoting it, last paragraph. As Americans retreat into politically like-minded circles, the cross-party relationships that research has linked to greater tolerance keep disappearing. Polarization, it turns out, isn't just making social connections unpleasant for millions of Americans. It's also ending social connection.
And it's all by design.
Bunch of loners.
It's not happening by accident.
No.
There's
You
no
wonder
such
why
thing as
suicide
coincidence.
rate up is so high. You wonder why everybody's on antidepressants. You can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Because we just don't talk to each other anymore. And you can't.
Yeah.
Even this morning, I'm out doing my hike. I'm walking back. I'm done. There's a guy. It's an empty parking lot. Big parking lot. And a guy parks 2 spaces away from me. Give me a break, first of all.
That's like the urinal rule. You can't do right next to you.
So he's getting his bike ready. I walk by. He has no earbuds in. No nothing. I walk by, go into my car. I say good morning. He doesn't even look. Suddenly he decides to look at me. I make eye contact with him, and he just kind of goes back to work. And I went, nice talking to you, dude.
Yeah.
He never even budged. People, listen to what we're saying. We don't say this just to complain.
Yeah. No.
You got to have a little bit of self-actualization here and understand what's going on around you.
So not only are you and I starving for these real connections with people, everybody is. We all are. Everybody, if you have your nose buried in your phone and you're stuck in the algorithms, you're still starving for that connection. You're just getting a dopamine hit from whatever you're looking at on your screen, and you're addicted to dopamine. And the INE on the end of it is the same thing as morphine, heroin. It's the same
But
thing.
they all, and every single person will complain, I can't make a friend. You know why you can't make a friend?
Right.
Your rules and your standards are too tight.
It's twisted, man.
Open it up.
It's twisted. Yeah. Who
You
cares?
know-
Like you grow from being around people who are different from you. You grow and you get stronger. Something I've started doing since, well, I don't drink during the weekdays anymore. The only alcohol I take in now is during our podcast because we're doing a tasting and I enjoy the taste of bourbon, but it's something that I have overindulged in. Same thing with ice cream and pizza. I overindulge, right? And not social media for me, but it's like YouTube shorts on YouTube. Like I like to watch Dave Ramsey shorts, right? Or certain things. And I'm like, whoa, this has got its hooks in me. And so now when I get up in the morning, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I leave my phone on the charger and I come downstairs, do my morning workout, no phone. I just raw dog it. No phone until I get to work. I'm trying to wean myself off looking at having a screen in my face. And it's been, I'm like, oh, I can actually survive. Like I can actually enjoy my time. And you know what it actually does? It makes my time in the morning before I go to work seem like much longer. I'm like, whoa, I have all sorts of time to, like, I can work out. I can make breakfast.
It is amazing how much time we have.
It's wild. When's the last time, people listening, when's the last time you actually like sat on the toilet without your phone? Have you done that lately?
Which is very unhealthy, by the way.
Dude.
It's
gonna
wrecking your.
You're going to get blood clots.
It's
and
wrecking you.
Your bowels.
Physically.
Yeah. So try
That's
that.
proven.
Try it. Just leave your phone in another room and go drop a deuce without your phone and see how you feel.
Drop it, wipe it, get up.
If you feel, if you're feeling like, oh, this is terrible. I don't know what to do with myself in here. Like, bro, you got a problem. You really have a problem. Mm-hmm. Do something about it, man.
When you go on a walk, leave it at home. You don't always have to have music in your ears.
Yeah, I can't stand.
Give your body a rest.
Well, like,
your brain needs a rest.
I always feel like somebody could sneak up behind me and just choke me out. If I wouldn't hear them if I have earbuds in. I can't do it, man. I love hearing my tires on the gravel when I ride my bike. It's like a meditation for me. Or if I go walking, I want to hear my breath. I want to hear the birds chirp. I want to hear what's going on around me and enjoy the environment. You're missing out on like 90% of the experience if you have
even
earbuds
while we
in.
sleep. And for years we used to sleep with, white noise, waves or something like that. A lot of people do that. Part of me was doing it because of my tinnitus.
Yeah.
But I also learned, and studies now are proving, studies are real if you do the research and find out which studies are real and which are fake. Studies have been coming out that white noise is actually detrimental to your brain while you're sleeping.
You need like what's called brown noise, I think of it is, or something.
None.
None.
They're saying no noise, and if you got background noise, that's going to happen. You might wake up because you hear something outside,
Well,
whatever. But
I'll tell you what, man.
your brain resets better without the additional noise.
Yeah. My CPAP is pretty quiet. That's the only noise we have, and I have my ceiling fan going because I like to be freezing cold when I sleep. But earlier this week, I was at a conference, and it was a convention center attached to a hotel. And like when you're in a group of people, like the noise of people talking, like that just to me is like, I can't stand this. I got to get away from it. So I went over to the hotel, and 11 o'clock in the morning on a hotel, it's dead. But they have a fountain there, like a water feature.
Yes.
And I sat next to the water feature, and I texted my wife. I was like, this is amazing.
I can't hear my ears ringing, and it's just the fountain and the water running. And it almost made me cry because I was like, the ringing's not there.
Natural noise.
Yeah, and it's just natural. But if you're putting earbuds in your ears, blasting music or listening to a podcast or whatever, you're probably damaging your ears more than you're helping anything. Or if you have a white noise machine next to your head. I don't know, man. So what do we do about it all, Kevin? What's the solution?
Well, the solution starts with each individual.
Should we tune in? What is it?
Tune in, turn on, no.
Turn off?
Oh, hang on. Got my note. Turn on, tune in, drop out.
That's a pretty poignant statement. I mean, without the drugs, take the LSD out of it. Pay attention to what's going on to you. Tune out of all the noise. And drop out of the bull crap in life. Like, you don't, like, really start chipping away at that stuff. It takes time. It's hard. It's uncomfortable, but nothing ever good came from the easy path, man.
Well, I could tell you exactly what they mean.
Okay.
So turn on, activate your neural and genetic equipment going within to become sensitive to different levels of consciousness.
Well, God, we would say.
Mm-hmm. We can. Yeah.
Yes.
I hope somebody else does too. Tune in, interact harmoniously with the world, externalizing and expressing new internal perspectives.
Okay.
Drop out, a graceful process of detachment from involuntary or unconscious commitments, advocating self-reliance and mobility.
Yeah, man, that's actually great. As long as you're focused on the right things.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I think people took it to the extremes. I mean,
yeah.
What's the movie with James Earl Jones? Field of Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
When Kevin Costner shows up
Mm-hmm.
to meet him, and then he wants to hit him with a baseball bat, get out of my life kind of deal.
Right.
Because he was one of those guys, the Timothy Leary level.
Yeah, like...
And he realized how stupid it was.
Yeah.
To some extent.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wanted to live his own life. And that's what we're experiencing with the boomers. You create all this stuff, and then you are tuning out, and you leave it with us, and we're stuck with it.
It's like
because you're not correcting your own course.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just consuming. They're consuming, not being stewards. They're consumers. It's so different being a steward of whatever and being a consumer of whatever.
So how do we fix it? Well, first of all, what I always say, be kind. All it does is start with saying hello. I'm sorry that they may not look like you.
Make eye contact.
Are you upset because they're not dressed identical to you? Are you upset because they don't have 18 earrings in their left ear like you are?
Yeah.
Maybe you should just say hello.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to run into.
Love.
Right.
Yeah.
Love each other.
That's it, man. We're all human beings. Everybody started out the exact same.
And then
right?
Real close to all that, you better start forgiving some people.
Yeah.
And you need to forgive yourself.
That's the hardest thing, right?
Forgiving make a lot of mistakes in your life. Stop taking it out on everybody else.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You don't know the mistakes they made. And you're holding them accountable for things you have no idea what they did.
And you don't know what kind of boomer parents they had.
Right. So stop judging each other.
Yeah, judgment, yeah.
And get to know each other. And it's just amazing what you find out.
What did Jesus say? Remove the plank from your eye before you worry about the speck in my eye.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And the other thing is, for every time you point your finger at somebody, there's 3 more pointing back at you. That's another type of way to say it. But you gotta look in the mirror, man. Are you comfortable with the man you see looking back at you? Are you comfortable looking yourself in the eyes?
Right.
That's something I struggled with.
If someone says hello to you, just say hi back.
Yeah. Hold the door for people, man.
If someone does something for you, just say thank you.
You would be surprised at the ripple effects that has in people's day.
And make no explanation.
No, man. Just be nice.
Just say thank you.
If somebody has a name tag on their chest, it's there for a reason. Use their name
Right.
when you say thank you.
This is another thing. Stop trying to explain every action that takes place.
Yeah.
Just give an answer
Do it.
and then leave it alone.
Right.
You don't need to come up with some giant explanation
Don't be
or
a
a why.
don't be a helicopter parent for everybody in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Just live your life.
If your kids are involved in sports, keep your pie hole shut.
Oh, dude. That drove me insane down in South Carolina. Those folks down there are the exact same way as the people who started the Civil War. They haven't changed. Anyway, what'd you think, Kevin? Booker's
2 stars.
2 stars.
Let me tell you.
How dare you?
I know. Let me tell you. I like Booker's. And I gave Booker's 5 stars or 4 stars all last year.
Yeah.
This one here, what's throwing me off is still that tannic.
I'm
The
glad.
tannins are getting strong.
I'm glad I brought some water down with me.
And I went through and flipped through some of the earlier bourbons we did because
Yeah.
it reminded me of one.
Okay.
It reminded me of the Dead Guy whiskey.
Oh,
And
no.
I actually wrote in my notes for today's tasting locker room. The tannins are just jumping out at me like no tomorrow. It tastes good as soon as I taste it, and then it just goes downhill from there. And I can't keep drinking it. I mean, you asked me if anybody on the show heard me say, nope, I'm good. That's because you were offering more. I'm like, I'm not drinking no more of this. And I like Booker's, so that's just very disappointing.
This is the most disappointing offering by Booker so far that I have tasted. I gave it 3 stars, just because I'm trying to be nice and kind and love everybody.
I saw a guy online.
This would have been 2.5.
I saw a guy online who's a respected bourbon taster,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave it 3.5 and said it was really good. There is no way I would give this 3.5 stars.
I went
Out
3
of 5.
stars. 3 stars for me. I respect what they were trying to do with this one. I get it, but they missed the mark, man. It's a little too aged for me. They should have pulled it a year earlier.
Yeah, but see, the problem is all the Bookers are 7 years old,
Yeah.
separated by months and days.
Well, maybe they should have blended in some younger barrels.
Or they should have pulled it 2 days earlier. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. But
I don't know what the oak was they used, but oof,
brand new, fresh, wet oak,
that's what they say.
apparently. So anyway, if you would like to suggest a bourbon for us to try, if you disagree with us, you can find us on all the social media sites, especially Facebook, the Headspace and Tasting Podcast. You can leave us a comment on YouTube by the same name and Spotify. You can email us at showmemk@gmail.com if you'd like to be a guest on the show or you have a bourbon suggestion. We'd love to hear it. And thank you for listening, folks.
Happy Mother's Day and
Yeah.
peace out.